Hey everyone, thank you for joining our second live today. We are giving it a go on YouTube, X, and Twitch. Today's guest is my good friend Nadeem Sharaf, a fellow Montrealer. How are you, Nadeem? Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure. So excited to be here on your stream. This is only your second episode, you
Thank
said?
you. Second episode from my personal accounts. So yes.
Wow.
I'm still trying to figure this out, this whole live streaming business. How what's my style? How do I want to do it? And thank you for deciding to participate in the experiment with me. To our audience, hey, this is an interactive discussion, super laid back, chill. We're going to do a part two of our 2025 year recap. Interesting enough, Nadeem just came back from a long hiatus. I
Yeah.
am going on mine soon
Oh,
to
yours is
different
going to
parts
be
of the
so much
world.
more fun. I'm kind of jealous. Tell us all about it. I'm curious to hear. But
Oh,
I'll let you ask the
we
questions first. But there will come a point
I
where
do not reveal everything on the live. Let's just put it that way. So, um, if you're here, welcome. We are super excited. I'm just really trying to do these lives, be more just have fun. Just have fun. Just have these fun conversations with people. And Nadeem, how did you and I meet? Let's start with that.
oh
How do we
we
connect?
um I think the way it happened, I was on a space with our friend Nofal. He's called King Boo Boo hilariously on X. That's his thing. That's his name. And he always hosts these
That's
spaces where
actually the
people are
name
just
of his cat.
the name of his cat. I have no idea what the name of his cat is actually. Oh, the name of his cat is King Boo, but that's actually the name of his cat.
Boo Boo is the name of his kitten, not
Oh
cat,
my
kitten.
goodness. Oh, okay,
That
okay,
that
cool.
he adopted. He has 2 kittens that he
Oh,
adopted.
that's
That's
some
so
good
sweet, huh?
trivia. Good trivia to know about our man King
Mm.
Boo Boo.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, we were just vibing on his space, and I think he brought you up first before I met you. He's like, "Hey, I have a good friend in Montreal, and you got to connect with her. You guys are gonna have fun." And after that, I think I can't remember exactly what it was after. If I met you live on the space after that, and then from there, we organized a coffee meetup at a really cool coffee shop, which I hope you liked. I think you've been there before. That
Yes, I
wasn't
went there on
the
a
first
date.
time you were
Fun fact.
there. Yes, 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 yes. It's honestly, it is a good on the guy. I mean, that's a good spot for a date. I think I would definitely take someone on a date there.
Let me
And then
send the
yeah,
link to
we
him.
kicked it off. Huh?
Let me send the link to the live to him so we could and
Oh yeah.
hopefully he'll know that that's a good place you took me. But honestly, I had such a great time meeting you. I'm very grateful that, you took the time to meet me. I when you talk to someone online, and by the way, everyone, we've been like just connecting. We haven't met again. We haven't had the opportunity to meet. We met once in person, but we've had some conversations over the phone. And when there are some people that you connect
Cut
with
off
and you
there. Can
feel
you
like
go?
you've known them for a long time. You hear me? He'll come back shortly. So I was just saying there are some people that you connect with and you feel like you've known them for a long time and no and our guest Nadeem is one of those people.
Can you
We
hear me now?
vibed.
Sorry,
Oh,
I think there was an
yeah,
internet
I hear you.
problem. Okay,
No, I
cool.
hear you. Do you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's disconnected very briefly.
Yeah, so I was just saying, I felt like I've known you for a long time. We connected over community because we met in the Glitchcraft Studio community, right? That's no foul being no foul, King Boo Boo being King Boo Boo, introducing everyone left, right, and center. He's got this really good intuition for like knowing who's a good match to meet with who. And it's like and I want to say that about him as well. It's like he barely met me. Like we didn't connect. We didn't talk for hours. We didn't. But I also clicked with him, and he knew instantaneously who would be a good person for me to connect with. So he's got a really good instinct about that, and that also connects, I have some topics that we could talk about with you as well around that.
Please, yeah, absolutely. And I agree with you. He's a he's super social online. And I found out that him and I actually lived, like I used to live in Saudi Arabia and Jeddah for many, many years. And we knew people in common. We have common friends. And I was like, dude, I wish I met you in real life at the time. He seems like such a fun person to be around.
He is, he is. I just wish
I'm
he
sorry, have
was.
you met him in real life, Netta, before?
No, I haven't. I hope I can, but every single time I attend his spaces, I feel like he sets the vibes and he talks to everyone in a way that they've known him forever. Let's actually introduce you. Let
Uh,
me introduce myself as well. So, let's start with you. You're my guest. So, Nadeem, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I mean, where do you want me to start so I don't go on a ramble? Do you want me to talk about, um, I don't
Some of your
know.
interests, what do you currently do?
Sure. Yeah. My interests. I am a huge gamer, so I play. I love PlayStation 5. That's where I engage. As a kid, I've been playing games on PS5, on PS in general. I play board games every week with my friends, so we have like that live interaction, live engagement with one another. I'm a big fan of them. I'm a huge social person. I love meeting people and engaging with them. So I'm a big fan of, like, I work in crypto. So to get into that, I work as a marketing lead currently for Voxy Tactics. It's a crypto turn-based RPG game. We have our own token on the Polygon chain, and yeah, I mean, I've been in marketing for more than 10 years now. I was with Coca-Cola before that, British American Tobacco, and then I pivoted into the blockchain in 2020. And yeah, I'm just so much happier working in smaller teams, working in startups, and going to conferences. I'm trying to pivot more into the partnership building side of things when it comes to marketing. And yeah, I'll let you sort of, like, pick at little things that you want me to expand on. But that's me. I'm an Egyptian guy. I immigrated to Canada. Um, I moved to Canada in 2011. Before that, I used to live in Saudi Arabia, in the Emirates, and in Egypt. And yeah, I think I've been around some interesting parts of the world, and it gives me perspective, I feel. So I'll let you sort of guide this.
Yes, I was just about to say, people that live in different parts of the world that are well traveled are, you know, you grow rich in perspectives and rich in experiences, and these are things you cannot put a price on. Um, some people are rich financially, but culturally, they're pretty poor.
I agree.
And that really ultimately affects uh, anyone's way of thinking, decision making, empathy, their emotional intelligence as well. So I can tell you, when we met, I didn't sense ego from you. I feel like despite the fact that you're so well traveled, you've connected with your fair share of people, you're pretty humble at that. And that's why I really resonate with you when I connected with you initially. And I'm still connected with you. Um, I'm gonna try to connect different dots about everything that you said because I feel like you and I have some common elements. You've gone down a journey that I'm planning to go to, and I hope if anyone is watching or will be listening to this that, I hope that the perspectives we'll share today about your 2025 recap and mine will help someone else. You never know the value that you'll add to someone just by saying or a statement that you'll make. I'll introduce myself as well. So this live is being hosted from my personal account. My name is Netta. I am a community builder. I do live in Canada. I am the founder of a beautiful community called Unfeathered. Currently, I am a release manager lead for a financial firm. Any statements that I make are not a representation of my employer. what I wanna say, uh, Nadeem, is you talked about living in different parts of the world, right? You said Egypt, Saudi Arabia, UAE, now Canada, and, did you live anywhere else
I lived in
besides
Los
these 2?
Angeles for a year, so I did live in the United States for a year. In Canada, I lived in Vancouver and Toronto as well. And I live in Montreal now. Montreal is my by far my favorite place in Canada, by far.
Hmm. Oh, I lived in the same cities as you, it seems. So, having traveled to all these places, and I think today's topic, we're gonna bounce around different topics. How did you define home? 'Cause you went from place to place. What made a place feel like home for you?
The people. I lived so I lived in Vancouver, which is obviously much warmer than up here in Montreal. So the weather was nicer, so to speak, but I didn't really and the nature. Let me get into that as well. So British Columbia and Alberta are known in Canada. They're known to have the most beautiful nature, some of the most beautiful nature in the world. And even then in Vancouver, I wasn't very happy. I maybe it's because where I was in my life at the time, I was a university student. I was a bit of a stoner, so I was I was just like doing university kid stuff. So maybe it's where I was in life at the time, but I didn't really make that many friends. Had like just a few. And in Montreal, when I moved here, I made so many more friends, and not just that, but the quality of those friendships were amazing. So even though this city gets really, really, really cold, I felt warmer and I felt happier.
Tell me about it.
Oh yeah, I'm dying right
It's
now,
like -19 Celsius right now. Oh my god.
and it feels like -50 or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanna tell you something. I'm a fairly social person as well, and I moved from Vancouver, in March of 2025. I moved back to Montreal. I've been here for 30 years of my life, and I've been on a quest to find what home is or whatever home is, for 3 years, but I knew that I've outgrown Montreal since 2016. It's in 2021 that I finally I'm a little bit slow to act, I was at least, to finally decide to be like, "Okay, time to move on, time to move from here." I went to Vancouver with the hopes of my parents moving, because my sister was there at the time. That didn't happen. Due to health concerns with my dad and his doctors and so on and so forth, they decided to stay in Montreal. So while I was in Vancouver, I did everything that I can to feel like home. I tried to
Mm,
make new friends. I moved from different. I changed. I lived in 3 different neighborhoods. Right? I lived with my sister, I lived alone, I tried everything. I started a community. I, I was in a very serious relationship that didn't work out. I dated, and, no matter what I did, I felt like I still wasn't at home. That's really weird, right? You feel like, and I even bought a property. Right, and
mm,
decorated everything from scratch. Like, for me, moving there felt like starting from scratch, but even at that, still wasn't happy.
mm,
Um, Using process of elimination and talking to different people, even my therapist, came to realize that home, for you, it's probably the people that are around you. I had a ton of people around me, community, friends, and I still didn't feel like home, right? And I realized back then that for me at least, you and I have at least a 10-year age gap. I'm 10 years older than you. That it's happiness is found within. Home is found within you. And I remember being in a coffee shop in West End with two of my friends, and they told me they said that if you're not happy with yourself, if you got issues that are unresolved, consider those as baggage. No matter where you move to, you are moving your problems with you.
Of course. Absolutely.
That I don't entirely agree with that yet. I still believe that um, the external world does have an impact on the internal, right? And that's why I want to talk about your travels because you and I have connected on a personal level. Like, I mean, you've opened up to me, you've said some things, and um, I remember the things that you told me. But today I saw you on camera after a very long time, like over a month, and I instantaneously saw some changes, right? Good changes, of course. So tell us a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about your travels.
I mean, I'll just touch on something you said, which is you carry your baggage around you. I actually completely agree with this. Look, I lived in very cold countries like here, warmer. I used to live in warmer places, and people do say that this has an impact on your psychological well-being. Being in a place where you can get vitamin D and sunlight, and I think it's definitely true. I mean, on average, I feel better in a sunny place than in a place where you don't get much sun and you don't really go outside very much because you're not motivated to because it's too cold. But I think that what's happening internally, things I've had unresolved, which I have a few, does definitely impact my overall happiness levels, if you want to say that. But it does help, definitely, being in a place where you can go outside and meet great people. I was recently in Florida. That was the most recent trip. I came back last week, and it was a 3 week road trip. I've always been a guy who enjoys going on road trips because I feel like that's the best way to experience a place. It's not to stay in an Airbnb, but to grab a car or a motorcycle or whatever it is and just go around and see the landscape, see the people, see all the different places. And it was amazing. I mean, Florida is not the most exotic place, but there is so much more to it than I expected. I went over to the north. I started off in Miami for Art Basel. It was for some networking at first, meeting some people, and then I took the car, and then we went to St. Augustine, which is the oldest city in North America. We went to Universal Studios. We went to the
Oh, you
Everglades.
went there too? Did you go to Disney?
No, it was a decision that we made. Either Disney. I did Disney in California in Anaheim, but I was like, you know what? Like, I'm 33. I'm gonna go somewhere where the ride's a little bit scarier. I want to get a heart attack on the rides. I want to get scared. So I chased that thrill. And Universal Studios was amazing, and also has like all the Harry Potter stuff, which damn, it was pretty cool. Um,
I didn't go.
oh yeah.
I I I went to so you see the 2 Mickeys there? Well,
Oh
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
pillows and the Mickey, the one I'm pointing to there, that one. They're from Orlando.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay, cool. I think it's the biggest one, isn't it? Like Disney World is like the biggest one in the world. The one is in Orlando.
I think
Um,
so. I
yeah.
think so. So, let me just do a quick recap. For anyone who's in here, we are live on X, YouTube, and Twitch. Feel free to engage with us. This is a lively discussion. Would love to hear your thoughts. So, we're talking about traveling. We're talking about finding home, finding yourself. And, I just wanted to connect your travels, right? I feel like as humans, we are not sedentary, we are nomad. We are nomadic. We are meant to move around. We are meant to discover. And we narrate. We recount stories. We tell stories, right? And I think that when you traveled, you got to do all of that, right? There's the unknown. What's going to happen? Who am I going to meet? Where are we gonna go? Like all of these variables, the question marks, that's what adds to the excitement, right? And that's what helps, in my opinion, with sometimes finding, especially with me right now, finding home is about finding myself, because as we grow older, we evolve. We're organic creatures, right? We become wiser, we become smarter, we become more experienced. And that need and desire to find ourselves, find home, that need, when it comes to you and you feel pressured, or you feel like you're not yourself, maybe that's your subconscious telling you it's time for you to go out there and explore some more, and maybe come back and get to know yourself, become richer in perspectives, and perhaps find, like, shed the old skin and layer and come back with your wings. Think we go through that cycle every few years or every few months, depending on who we are.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think that we are nomadic by nature. I mean, when you go back to our roots as human beings, we were hunter gatherers. We spent our days earning our food. Um, we had to hunt our food, and that's why today we have such a problem with people just being unhealthy. It's because we're in a new world, relatively speaking, that never really existed in this way, and it's very all of this is very recent. The idea that I can go downstairs and grab fried, unhealthy, processed food from a million different destinations around me. That's like a very unnatural thing that the body is not accustomed to. We're not supposed to live like that. And the other thing which you said, which is like we're explorers, I agree. And I think some of us more than others. I know people who are happy to not necessarily be outside of their house a lot. But me personally, and a lot of people that I know, we just thrive on the idea of moving around, going to different places consistently. Like if I don't travel in 4 or 5 months, I feel terrible. I'm like, I need to go somewhere. I need to see a new place. I need to meet a new person. I just have that itch that I feel like a lot of people and young men have as well. But the reality is, life is not. It's hard. It's hard to do that. It's hard to either have a career that supports that, or have disposable income to do that. It really is a hustle, but we do live in a world where that is a challenging thing to be able to go around and explore the world as you want to or as you would like to.
Sometimes most people are in a situation that's not always about money. They have kids,
Mhm.
right? It's kind of hard to travel with a newborn. I think of my sister right now.
Oh my god, yeah.
Or, you have commitments at work, as you said, or you have deadlines that meet, or, you have parents that are, that you need to support, and so on and so forth. So many obligations that we can all have. But I believe that micro breaks, micro travels can really help you recharge. Even if it's for half a day, even if it's for traveling to this town next door. On Sunday, my friends and I, we live in Quebec. We went to Val d'Or, which is an hour away drive. Then we went to Mont Tremblant. We went all the way there to a restaurant called Le Petit Poucet, which means a small thumb. We
Okay.
had breakfast. Then we went to Mont Tremblant. That was less than a day, like half a day travel. We came back and we all felt better, right? Sometimes those little trips and the people you're with is all it takes, right? So you told me some of your objectives for 2026 are community building, if I'm not wrong,
Well,
or marketing initiatives.
from a marketing career perspective, one of our objectives this year is to, yes, definitely nurture the existing community, but we also want to sort of expand outside of the Web3 uh, community base. And the reason for that is, in crypto gaming specifically, there's always this element of I'm here playing a game because I'm expecting some sort of financial incentive, or I'm farming a token, or I'm farming a digital asset that might one day make me money. And that narrative is not a healthy one. If you're trying to build a community of gamers, you don't want your gamers to think of your project just like as an exploit in that exploitative way. So we are sort of thinking more about diverting into a place where we have gamers playing for the fun of the game. But that also implies that we need to make sure our game is in tip-top shape, our onboarding is seamless, we're not placing barriers for people to be able to engage and sign up and play our game. And we do have some of those things still. Like for Voxy Taxi, we do still have this thing where people are um, required to have a crypto wallet, for example, or they're required to have certain NFTs to compete in certain arenas. So really, my goal this year is to try to break all this down, get way more players from that are not necessarily just crypto native. This year, though, 25, I did have a lot of community building work completed, tons of partnerships. I worked on a thing where I met with the team from Polygon at Gamescom in
What is
Germany.
Polygon?
Polygon is a side chain on Ethereum, and it's
Okay.
optimized for a bunch of different things. So it's a chain that's optimized to help facilitate gaming projects and other stuff. They're also famous for Poly Market, which is like a site where people can wager on future outcomes and get financial gain from that. But at any rate, I met with some people from the Polygon chain in Germany at Gamescom earlier this year, and we struck a really cool initiative to have Voxy Tactics feature on the Immutable Play. Immutable is another blockchain, and they're fully optimized for gaming. Super good rep, super famous, and yeah, we're featured as one of the top 5 games from Polygon on the Immutable Play chain, and that was a big highlight for me for this year.
Congratulations. You
Thank you.
said your team and yourself accomplished this despite not being fully active in the community building. So you're gonna wrap that up like there is no tomorrow for 2026 then.
Yeah, I mean, it does tie into community because our community does want to see us sort of shake hands with these big blockchains and people in the space. But yeah, that was also a big step in growing our presence, proliferating our game, getting more brand awareness. And that really, right now for 26, is just expand beyond the crypto narrative into the gamer audience outside of crypto.
Now, Voxy is, I know you're in Canada, but is your team distributed in different countries? Are you planning? Can you tell me a little bit about your gaming company?
Yeah, I mean,
Where you
we
distribute?
our founders have deep roots in Ubisoft, so a lot of them used to work for Ubisoft, and our brand designer is from Ubisoft as well. So they have a strong background in in game development and the like. So we are based in Montreal, but a lot of our team is also based in North America and the United States. Some of them are in Brazil. We have some people in Europe, so we are a global team, but the majority of us are located in Canada and the United States.
Interesting. Uh, so the reason I asked this question is we're kind of like you and I are kind of in two different universes, and I'm just trying to connect dots, and I'm learning from you as I speak. I do community buildings in tech. Now, I know gaming can be a like sub branch, right? Um, in your world, I do community building for Web 2. What you're doing is Web 3. And man, King Boo Boo, or should we say Nofal, uh, he brought me in. What's that term that he always uses? He onboarded me.
Yeah.
I laughed and I'm like, it's like a cult. It's like, no, it's not, but it kind of is, you know? So I'm still trying to learn. I'm still trying to like understand, connect dots. And I think you and I, what we share in common is really that love of marketing, branding, bringing people together, and the community building. Um, just trying to find out like what are some strategies that you guys are going to use to like grow your marketing base, grow like beyond the community building. Are you going to use gamification? What are some strategies that you guys are going to use?
One of the first things that I focused on when I joined the team 2 years ago is that I wanted more gameplay content going out. So I wanted more content just showing our game directly. I wanted more content of people playing the game and then like others seeing what it's like. So I started doing that. I started a series called Battle Bites, and Battle Bites is essentially where people can see little clips of the Voxy Tactics battles, see some of the abilities, some of the classes. So we have like more than 20 classes. We have mages, warriors, and so on and so forth. So that was the first thing. And now you can find our gameplay content all over the place. It's on all sorts of social media platforms. The other thing I started doing was we worked on doing weekly streams. So we started doing like 2 streams a week where we would get people. One of them is like a panel, like sort of like this, where people hop on and we discuss like a certain topic. And I had you on for one of those. It was pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed that. We'll maybe do it again for
Of course
26.
I did.
Yeah. And then like we sort of find hot topics happening around the space, and then we get people in the panel discussing those and giving their insights, and we usually get on like very intelligent, very insightful people on those panels. Now the other side of it is gameplay panels, which we also do every week, and then it's like people competing against each other. We get them to sign up, and then we play games against each other, and it's usually competitive. There's a lot of yelling and a lot of sort of people, upset about losing and talking shit. So I really want to get that out there as well. And then we start
That's a
now.
part of it. Like, when I see King Boo Boo, oh, I keep calling him that, no foul, hosting his social audio rooms on X. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And so he's hosting the space, and then up at the Jumbotron, or we call it the Nest, they're live streaming on Google Meet, and I was listening in, I'm like, "The hell?" They
What's
were
going on?
cursing at the top of their lungs. Yes, so cursing at the top of your lungs is a part of it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. He's a character. I mean, I love his spaces because they're
He is a
so.
character.
Yeah, he brings really cool people, and like the energy in his spaces is always very upbeat, and it's just super chill. Like there's
Yeah.
no filter. It's like pretty uncensored in there, in a cool kind of way. And I also had him on a space on a panel. He actually showed his face. I was so proud to be, I think, the one to break that. I don't think I've ever seen him live before, like with his face.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's such a cool dude. Like even when you see him, you're like,
Oh,
oh,
he
I,
is.
I knew you look like this because like the way he talks, it really matches. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much the goal, and also want to focus more on like partnership initiatives. I'm aiming to be at GDC, which is a game developer conference, happens every year in San Francisco. It's one of the biggest conferences in gaming, and there's always a
Awesome. When is it
lot
again?
of. This is March. Happens every year in March in San Francisco.
So you definitely have your 2026 planned out for you for yourself and your team.
Yeah, I mean, we're a small team, so our resources aren't like infinite or anything. But with the resources that we do have, I want to help guide us into a place where we're partnering with big projects like we did with Immutable, partner with creators like Marcello, very incredible, great human being and talented creator we work with now, and then a lot of others. So I'm learning a lot from the Pudgy Penguins community, which is, I just made a video about them on X. CoinDesk just released a report talking about what Pudgy Penguins does differently from other NFT projects, and
They're just cute.
oh, they're amazing. Yeah, like the stuff they're doing. Like the more I read about it, the deeper I get into it, the more I'm like blown away by the scope of what they're doing. So yeah, I am drawing lessons from big, successful, powerful chains like that, and with our own smaller resources, I'm trying to sort of grab value as much as I can from partnerships, from events, and from building a community of non-crypto gamers. We want to have the crypto gamers in there, but not just the crypto gamers.
The reason I'm asking you all these questions is down to the core, we are both community builders, but you're more on the marketing side. Um, I am working my way eventually I'm currently doing this as a hobby. I'm working to do this as a career. Developer relations, you never know. I've been told I do have the skill set for it. I facilitate a social audio room with the founder of a community called The Hunt. I think you've been in the spaces before on X, Sean Charles.
I think I've
And
been on there a few
I
times. Yeah,
started Unfeathered as well with my two co-founders, Raul Katze and Justin Thomas. And the reason I'm asking you all these questions, Nadeem, is because yes, the community, the one we're doing is in tech. you're doing gaming, but there are some common elements, and I just wanted to, whenever I host a live, it's educational, hopefully not only for myself, but for our audience as well. I try to extract information from my guests and I try to apply it for myself, but also give you the points that I have extracted. So for anyone that wants to grow a brand or to grow a community, right? Engagement is important. Partnerships are important. Relationship building is important. Collaborating with the right people, building with the right people are key, right? The reputation, the brand, what you stand for, the vibe that you have and you give off. We talked about King Boo Boo several times. You and I, when I close my eyes, there's, you know, his his branding is so on point that as soon as I close my eyes, I could see his his profile picture with the monkey and the Glitchcraft logo, right? With the music he puts and like the vibes and the jokes and everything. But that's really what I've done. Like that's what he's done successfully is he has, and I'm sorry to use this term, but it's so exact and so correct, conditioned me to, and I don't know if he's done this intentionally or programmed me to think of him in this way. That's what serious great branding is. You are very intentional about everything you do, about everything you say, about every content you put out there. Nadeem,
Yeah, I
any
mean,
take?
look, um, I think when it comes to building community, just to go to that for a second, the game changes. I think every year, it becomes more refined, especially in crypto, where we're still a very much a maturing market and approaches are differing. Like I was just talking about how NFT projects back in the day, just a few years ago, were relying on hype, on floor price, on speculation, really, to build their brand and gain a lot of supporters. But that's not the environment anymore. This is like completely outdated now. It doesn't work anymore. People are much more realistic. Hype doesn't hit as hard as it used to. And this is mainly because of a lot of broken promises, because of a lot of sort of reality checks and bubble bursting in the space. So we are now in a place where you need to engage and build your community directly, in a way that follows your brand. So that is to say, if you are Pudgy Penguins, for example, like if you look at what they're doing, you can tell that their brand has a very unique personality in the way that the account engages with other people, in the way with the campaigns that they run. They're running an XP campaign, for example, that's helping people who create content around them gain XP points. And if you gain enough XP points, people are saying and speculating this is going to lead to you getting an allocation from their token drop, from the abstract token drop, which is going to happen. Nobody knows exactly when. That's like they only know, but they're building community based on incentive. They're building community by mobilizing a lot of creators in the space to create content about them, which I think is brilliant. It's not. It's getting harder. I think it's getting more. You need to be more, have a stronger pulse on the community than ever before to be able to do that. And it's a long game. You cannot build
Yes.
community in a short amount of time, or a sustainable community in a short amount of time. You cannot build a community just based on giveaways or airdrops, or people trying to make money. That doesn't work anymore. So the game is getting more complex, and that's why you need experienced marketers who understand these case studies to lead your project. And I think it's the same thing for building community around a chain, because there's so many different chains, and every chain has their own like sort of die-hard fans and people who are engaged with them. So yeah, building community is tough. It really is, and it's getting tougher. And you need to know what the hell you're doing.
Yes.
I hope like that.
Even even the communities that are non-monetized and nonprofit, I've engaged with my fair share. How do you, for example, how do you motivate the volunteers to come back? Because they're not paid, right? How do you motivate the members to keep showing up? How do you get the good best guests? Community building is not a piece of cake, folks. It requires very good human to human interaction skills, communication skills. It requires patience, consistency. You're not always going to get hit the numbers that you want, but you know the most important thing is consistency and showing up. One of there's tons that are important, but you if you show up enough times, in my opinion, also, um, just like I mentioned earlier, King Boo Boo conditioned me. I don't know if he's watching. I don't think he'll like my selection of words right now. You should have been here. Could have said something.
Oh yeah,
But
it could have
he
depended
got
on
me he got me used to his spaces to a certain extent that sometimes when I wake up early because he's in Saudi Arabia, folks. So there's a 8-hour time difference here, right? So when I wake up, sometimes I'm hoping to see a WhatsApp message with him saying join space because we have a WhatsApp group or a WhatsApp or a X message from him like with a link. He's gotten me used to it and it's that engagement, that reminder, it I feel special receiving it. I don't know if you do, but when someone sends me a message and it shows they're thinking of me, I feel a little bit special. But when that consistency isn't there for other communities, I'm not saying this applies to King Boo Boo because I'm a diehard fan at this point, but for any other community, I haven't invested myself and my time. When people come to your community, they're invested in you. They're invested in what you're building. They're invested in where it's going. But if you fall off the bandwagon and
Right.
you give up, they're probably going to discover another community. And I understand life happens, as we say, shit happens. Um, and when you come back, if people come back to you, show a lot of gratitude because they could have spent that time somewhere else. That yet they chose to be with you. So that aspect of gratitude and loyalty when it comes to community building, what's your take on that?
The reason I think community building is so difficult is because it's a never ending thing. I mean, you cannot. It's not a destination. Oh, I built community. It doesn't. It's just an ongoing thing. And one of the very rough demands of building community is being creative with how you want to engage them, right? People, you got to understand human nature. I mean, people get bored of the same thing over and over. You got to keep things fresh as a marketer, especially, or as a marketing strategist for these communities. You have to find new ways to engage your audience. If you're taking the path of like building a Discord community, good, but keep in mind that's a ton of work as well. So like now you have a different platform on which to onboard
Yes.
people to join your Discord. You want to have really the best of the best in terms of moderators, people who bring a lot of energy and excitement into that Discord channel. You need to be with your social accounts as well, replying to people, following people. And the thing about community as well is like you might get 1,000 people who engage with you once, but out of those 1,000 people, you're probably going to get 10 people joining your community and actually being interested in the future of that community. So you got to have a revolving door of new users and members coming in and out. And then slowly you're going to cultivate a base. That base is everything. That base is what's going to keep you going through bear markets, rough conditions. That base is the one that are going to continue to believe in you. And as a project, you need to be responsible in the decisions that you make, and make sure that and just knowing that everything you do reflects on your brand and on that community. So it's a slow cook, it's a consistent cook, and it pays off big time. It really does, because that community is what believes in you. They're going to buy your stuff, they're going to comment on your posts, they're going to give you that engagement, they're going to join your Discord, they're going to tell other people about you. So it's so worth having, and it's a thing that really hasn't existed very much before, like Web3 gaming. People would just sort of just play your game or buy your game, and not really like there wasn't really a sense of community in a lot of games outside of crypto. But crypto, I feel, is one of those places where community is very important, and it's a new phenomenon. Because back in the day, if you think about a game like Metal Gear
Yeah.
Solid or The Witcher or Call of Duty, there isn't really a community, so to speak. There's just like lobbies of kids yelling at each other, but there isn't really like a place where they all get together and talk and discuss, and like not really. But now there is. If you go to Bearish, if you go to Fugs, all these are very powerful IPs that were birthed by the abstract chain and the pudgy
What's
and under the
IP?
umbrella of the pudgy penguins community. These are people talking to each other all the time. Hey, I want to see this. I want to see that. What do you think of this? They're all creating content about this project and sharing it with each other. I created a video just today and posted it, and then I shared it with a bunch of people in the pudgy community. I'm like, hey guys, what do you think of this?
So you create a mic. First off, I want to address a comment that we got from Idris. I think he agreed with some of the things that we said around community. Thank you very much for your comment, Idris. I appreciate it. Um, so just to reset briefly to anyone that just joined the live, welcome. We're talking, the conversation started around travels,
Yeah,
um, around finding home. Then it pivoted into community. My guest Nadeem and good friend Nadeem is, we're both in Montreal, by the way. We've met in person. Thank you for coming to the live, which was once again very last minute, hosted very last minute. Um, we're talking about building community, and Nadeem does the marketing for Voxy, which is a gaming studio, right? And I'm a community builder in tech, and I also am the founder of a community called Unfeathered. So in Web 2 in their world, he's in Web 3, I'm in Web 2.
yeah.
So we're just, although we're from two different worlds, I guess, we're trying to talk about the common elements in community building. And if you're a job seeker, um, you can also take some lessons because I do host social audio rooms on X, and with Unfeathered, we do have topics around the job search, right? So you can also extract some value from this conversation about how to have people uh, become your fans for your brand, right? How to get people to advocate for you, how to get people to, uh, talk about you when you're not in the room, right? We've talked about some of the things that are kind of in common, as we've talked about the importance of human psychology, and we talked about our good friend King Boo Boo, who repeatedly repeatedly has showed up on social audio rooms on X and hosted spaces with a certain style, with a certain personality, and has done it enough times with the visuals, with the right messaging, with the right people. Because when you build a brand, sometimes you need collaborations, right? Nadim, you also brought that up. That he's gotten me used to a certain imagery of him, of his community, of his gaming studio, a certain style of communication. And when I think a gaming studio, I immediately think of him. And
Hmm.
very soon I'm going to be thinking of you as well, Nadeem. So that's really how true branding is done. It's this, consider this entire live a lesson 101 on community building and branding. Let's keep going, Nadeem. What do you want to talk about?
What do I want to talk about? Uh, I wanted to ask you about you have a really interesting trip coming up, which if you want to get into that, we that would be interesting for me. Just curious on how you decided where it is in the world that you wanted to go and what you expect to achieve just by being in that part of the world. So if you want to get into that, that's very interesting to me.
So when I moved back to Montreal in 2025, I grew up here. Uh, by the way, for anyone that just joined, we both live in the same city. I've been here for 30 years of my life, and I had hopes that I would stay. I haven't left US and Canada in 6 years. So, um, ever since my niece has been born, especially the past 2 weeks, that yearning for traveling has been screaming out loud. Last year, my best friend told me a lot about Thailand. I watched so many videos of Thailand, I cannot even count. Hours, countless hours at this point. So the fascination with that part grew even more. So I've been always wanting to go there, especially after the stuff that I saw on YouTube. but also, this started off as a joke. Um, there's someone named Adi Joud who's in tech. I met him on X. He does a lot of coding. Phenomenal guy. He's in the UK, but he traveled to Thailand. Then I started noticing, and in November, I started to make a post about, "Hey, if I go to Thailand, who would like to join?" And he responded, and then someone else as well, Razwan, who was my guest yesterday. So, what initially started off as a post with some jokes, it became more serious. When I started re-examining my life and really saying that I need to travel, I need to find myself, I need to choose myself. And so that's about Thailand. Um, I want to go see more Asian countries.
Um,
I do want to try living for a few months abroad to see who am I? Because I did mention in the beginning of this live that we each shed our skin every, not literally, but you know what I mean, like a cocoon. We all wanna leave that cocoon and spread our wings. I'm kinda in that phase right now,
I see.
and I've been to Europe, I've been to the US so many times. I haven't been enough to Asia. Actually, I've never been to Asia. So I wanna go and discover, when I mean Asia, like countries like Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, um, always wanted to go to Japan, maybe Japan, we'll see. But, I do wanna go and kind of experience life in a different culture. Uh, I because I was not able to travel, I hosted a lot of social audio rooms to get the perspectives that I would have gained during travel. Just by engaging with people with different parts of the world, I gained some perspectives, but when you're there in real life, that's a whole different ballpark, right? A whole different game. So, I'm very excited because I do know this is a self-discovery journey that I'll be going through, and I'll be blogging it, vlogging it, doing a newsletter, bunch of different things. But I right now the decision has been made. I'm actually in the process of planning it,
Hmm.
and I do hope. I don't know how long this entire trip will be, but I do know it's going to be at least a few weeks long. But I do hope that when I come back, I'll be stronger, I'll be more knowledgeable because I do also plan to take some courses, and to come back in the market, job market stronger, more confident, and with a decision, solid decision, and with regards to the next career move that I do want to make.
I love that. And I feel I resonate with it a lot because I have that curiosity too. I just like to give you some perspective in 2023, I went to Europe for 2 months. And I just traveled around by myself and I loved it. I just loved it so much. I was alone. I was sort of seeing myself react to different scenarios. I met so many people and I just want to do the same thing in Asia. But not like a few months. I want to actually spend a year in Asia. I want to go to the Philippines and Thailand and
We
uh,
need to talk in the back channels.
oh my god, like I just want to go. I just want to disappear into Asia for a bit, and it's just something that I want to experience before my time on this rock ends. And I know I will one day, maybe sooner than later. I hope, but yeah, no, I love that. Because I think that's a great way to sort of find yourself is put yourself in an uncomfortable position, put yourself into completely into the unknown, and just go, just see how things pan out from there. I'm so excited for you. I mean, I'll want to
Thank
hear
you.
all about it. I'll be in touch with you during that trip as well, and just like get your report on it and get your feedback on it. And yeah, I'm very
I'll
excited.
do something so you fly out too.
Huh?
I'll do something so you fly out as well.
Mm. Oh my god.
Never say never.
I'm down, down. Like I'm literally, I'm down. I'm down.
Let's connect after this live.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's really how the whole idea started. Like, it was just a post on X. And then next thing I know, Eddie responds, then Razwan responds, then those two book their tickets and their hotels, and I'm like, "Okay, wow, this is they're serious."
Yeah. Yeah.
Then, an event happened, in December. My best friend's father passed away. May
Mm.
he rest in peace.
May you rest.
December 10th. December 13th, my niece was born. Hey, Barun, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining. Hopefully you're enjoying the conversation. Happy New Year to you as well.
Happy New Year.
And within the span of less than 3 days, life and death were in front of me. And I think we're each here to find our purpose. Life is beautiful. It does have an ending. And, you talked about earlier in the live about traveling. You get your energy from people. That's how you feel at home, right?
Definitely. Definitely.
Thank you, Barun. I appreciate your kind words
Yeah,
once
rest in
again.
peace. It's very sad to
Thank
hear.
you.
Yeah.
He was a very, very sweet man. I still can't believe he's not here. And we're each here to find the purpose, our soul's purpose. Why are we here? Traveling, interacting with other people, being in different parts of the world. That could be one way of finding it, impacting others. I think at the end of the day, I still have faith in humanity. I still believe that there is goodness out there. I also believe that I do believe that life is magical. I do believe that I do believe in destiny, but I also believe in hard work. If you
Oh
want
yeah.
something, you work towards it. Not the woo-woo stuff that we talk about. I also believe in that. I do believe in manifestation. I do believe in destiny, but I also believe in free will. Uh, like I believe in a lot of stuff. We have been given the choice to make our own decisions, but I also believe that I do believe in divine intervention. I do believe that sometimes what we decide does not happen to us. That can be a form of divine protection. I've seen in my lifetime enough examples um, to believe.
Mhm.
And I've realized in the power of prayer, power of having faith, first in myself, and then in others. I've realized the importance in 2025 of rest, of looking within. I think I've talked a lot about some of these things with you as well, Nadeem, during our one-on-ones, right?
No, absolutely. We did, and I grew up in a religious household. My mother and my little brother and my dad, actually, all of them actually, super religious. And I was for a little bit, and I'm not as religious anymore. Um, Look, in Egypt, we have this culture that's kind of like, focus on your religion and God will bless you with the rest. And, I'm not here to argue, but yeah, I just have a different perspective. And it goes back to something you said, which is you have to go out there and you have to go fight for what you want and you have to grab the knowledge and meet the people and you have to do the work. So I did take a different sort of philosophy in my life with that. I do believe in something greater than myself and greater than all of this. And I think that's important to have that because really without that, I just feel like, damn, are we really alone in the cosmos and there's nothing else? Um, who knows? I don't have the answers. I don't think any human being does. But yeah, I mean, it's a challenge. Really, where are we going? All right. What's the whole purpose of all this? And I think traveling and finding yourself is a great way to get a glimpse of the answer.
There's a lot of beauty that comes from being lost.
Oh yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Yeah, being lost. I want to be lost right now, but not here. I want to be lost here in this weather. I want to be lost in South America or in Asia or something like that. And I think that's the path I want to take in life. Just heading in that direction.
Look at the diversity that we have in Canada. You and I wanna get out of here. Yesterday, I see an
Yeah.
Instagram reel with people skating in downtown Toronto in the cold with in their undergarments. I kid you
Really?
not.
Oh wow.
Yes, and it's a tradition over there.
Oh my god. I love it.
Talk about having thick skin.
I mean, yeah, I tried the ice skating thing for a little bit. I was like, ah, it's just not my thing.
Hopefully with clothes on. Hopefully with
Well.
a lot of layers. But heck, if there's people that are doing that and they're happy,
Yeah.
good for them. And that's where, I just wanted to connect. That's the beauty of life. That's the beauty of all these differences, right? The We can choose to live in peace with each other. Someone can skate in their undergarments in -20-degree weather. I don't know how they do it,
Yeah.
honestly. And, they could do it so freely, whereas others could walk around with, like, layers upon layers of clothes, you know?
I know.
Hey, they're brave. The ones that decide to skate in their undergarments in that weather, good on them. I cannot do that.
Yeah. No,
You
that's
you
not
need
how
to
I
be
would spend the
brave
weekend for
to do
sure.
that in that weather. Oof.
Oh my god, it's too good.
So, yeah, that's really cold. Like, all jokes aside, I just wanted to make a point about the importance of we can grow up. I understand what you meant about growing up in a religious family because I'm Middle Eastern, you're Egyptian, I'm Persian, you're Egyptian. I totally understand. And especially me, I've been raised in the Western culture for like most of my life, right? In Montreal, in Quebec, that has its own it's a whole different universe for itself, French Canadian. Then in Canada, because I lived in Vancouver for a bit, Toronto when I was a kid, Muslim and Persian household. So that's
Mm.
like 4 different universes in one. And that does cause one from time to time, one confused kid growing up to become an adult, right? The different identities, the different values kick in at certain moments when you feel a certain emotion, you think a certain way, you feel a certain way, you think in a specific language, you identify at a specific moment, at a specific time with some values, some parts of one culture. So there's a lot of complexities that evolve, and that dynamic between, the offspring and the parents can become complex, in my opinion. But
Mhm.
being able to respect those differences and live harmoniously despite those differences, that's what's key, not only within the household, but in society as well. And if there's anything I could wish for 2026 is I wish humanity, I do believe in humanity. I still have faith in humanity that we remain civilized and that we can respect those differences. I think we have, in some parts of the world, we have a lot of work to do in that area, but I hope that we can, I wish the best for us as humans.
Yeah, no, for sure. And when you go to other parts of the world, you're gonna have the opportunity to explore and accept other people's different stuff, right? They're all, their different way of being raised, cultures, religions, traditions, all that stuff, and that's a great opportunity. It's just so humbling to see like my culture is not the only one. My people are not the only people who believe so strongly in something. There's a lot of different other things going on, and I want to be blessed enough to explore them, accept them, engage with them as much as I can. And that's one of the beauties of traveling. It humbles you. You know, I think people who are generally less tolerant or less, um, receptive to other ideas are people who are not well traveled. And once you've been around the block for a little bit, you do get humbled, and you do realize that your way is not the only way, and how you feel about things, others feel equally about their own.
While you were talking, I was thinking of my grandpa. May he rest in peace.
May you rest
On
in
the
peace.
maternal side. Thank you. He is he was a businessman, very well traveled. Religious man, man of faith, family man, but very rigid in some of his beliefs. Very, very rigid. But it's honestly that there's a certain I'm trying to find the words. There's certain things that I want to say, like I can't find the words, so I'll try to express it to the best of my ability. Um, maybe I'm thinking in French. It's il y a certaines choses comme there are certain things like yes, he's religious. Yes, he's rigid on some of his beliefs, but on the other hand, because he's traveled so much, he's able to remain adaptable. And that's really, really what I love the most about my grandpa. Is when I think about it, when he came to Canada when I was a kid, the way that he communicated with people, uh, the way he respected others was it's a memory that I still carry with me. So, I mean, many of us think when we go back and think about our elders, I always believe in paying homage to our elders, remembering them. Think in terms of the good things that they did and try to reproduce that for yourself. That flexibility, that adaptability, that openness. Persian to Canadian, and my grandpa was 67 when he came here.
Mhm. Wow.
This was 32 years ago. Yeah. So, if there's anything I can say about my grandpa, thinking about him today, even my grandma who traveled with him, was keep traveling, keep discovering the world. If you're not able to, because finances or circumstances don't allow you, try. Try. You have tech. You have this tech. You have a phone. Go to Spaces on X, go to Clubhouse, try to surround yourself with people with different perspectives, backgrounds, religions. That's what makes thank you, Idris. Appreciate it. Thank you. That's what makes you rich as a person. Rich isn't I don't consider being rich having money in my bank account anymore.
I think we grew
Think
past that narrative, yeah, at some point.
you grow rich in perspectives. You
Absolutely,
grow
absolutely.
rich
Sorry about the
in
camera, by the way. I said I need to get off for a
That's
second.
okay.
But yeah, no,
That's
I
okay.
agree with you. Like my grandfather, I was closer to him than to my mom and dad. Um, yeah, he was everything to me, and when he passed in 2013, it broke something. And I actually dream of him every couple of months. He appears in my dreams, and he'll always be a part of me. And yeah, my grandfather also left a massive impact on me. I think about him all like often, and yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunately I don't have any grandparents left, but boy, do I wish the days when I did.
May your grandpa rest in peace as well, and all of your other grandparents.
Thank you, Nada. Thank you. Yeah,
This
yeah.
has been a very interesting conversation. I honestly, didn't think we'd go with changing around, swivering through different topics today, like a snake game,
Yeah.
slithering through different topics, but it felt, super organic as always with you, very fluid. We talked about traveling, we talked about community building, we talked about careers, personal branding, life, connecting with people, what is home, and Nadeem, any last words for ending 2024 and going on to 2026?
Yeah, definitely. I will say that, guys, whatever. I, I think what I'm living by right now, it's not money oriented. I mean, of course, I need some money to do what I need to do, but I'm really thinking about things in terms of I have a very limited amount of time left here, and I would rather spend it working on things I like, because what the hell else am I going to do, right? What else are you going to do? Um, Spend it on something you don't like? That doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, guys, just my thing is just try to do what you enjoy, try to get good at it, try to use it and make it something that you're able to sustainably do for yourself in the future. And may you all have a blessed new year. And Nada, thank you so much for having me. It was an absolute pleasure, really. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us today. I appreciate it. It was very last minute, but you accepted to be my last guest for 2025.
Anytime.
Stay tuned. I will be sharing a lot of exciting content coming up in 2026, starting with a newsletter called Finding Netta. I
Ooh,
need to create the first article. I'll be video logging my journey as well on TikTok and on X and doing more
love it.
lives. So
Let's
thank you
go.
everyone for joining. Wishing you all a blessed end of 2025 and an amazing 2026 ahead. We'll see you all very soon. And Nadeem, thank you very much for joining us today. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye
Nada.
for now.
Take care.